Hi students, good morning everyone. I am Somasundaram from Bharatdasanar Matriculation Higher Secondary School, Arakonam. Today I am going to discuss about the basic concepts of chemistry, the chapter from chemistry in 11th standard. See, in these basic concepts of chemistry, general introduction and importance, scopes of chemistry has been discussed, as well as laws of chemical combinations, Dalton's atomic theory, concepts of elements, atoms and molecules have been discussed here. Then atomic and molecular masses, especially mole concept and molar mass. Then percentage, composition and empirical and molecular formula. Then chemical reactions, stoichiometric calculations have been discussed in the first chapter. See, among these parts, mole concept and percentage of composition, stoichiometric calculations have been questions arised from these parts in NEET as well as JEE. So, I am going to explain the concepts of mole concept and stoichiometric calculation, then concentrations, and then we will solve some problems in the same parts. See, general introduction and importance of chemistry. See, what is science? The interaction happening in nature has been studied by various scientists. So, the study has been known as science. See, in science, there are some branches are there: chemistry, physics, biology, geology. Among them, one of the branch is chemistry. In chemistry, what we are discussing? The interaction of matter with another matter. It is maybe a physical interaction or a chemical interaction. So, if you study these kind of interactions, then the study is known as chemistry. When the scientists want to know how the molecules are formed, they researched about the molecules. See, when they have been thinking about the molecule, they have got some ideas. The ideas totally is known as laws of chemical combination. Among them, the first law is known as law of conservation of mass. When a chemical reactants reacting together and forms a products. See, if you find out the mass of the reactant as well as the mass of the product, both must be equal. So, this concept is known as law of conservation of mass. The next one, law of definite proportion. So, irrespective of the source, if the molecule is formed with the same composition, the proportion is always same. If you take sea water and lake water, both have water molecules. See, if the proportion of hydrogen and oxygen found, both the ratio is always 2:1. Hydrogen, two atoms and one oxygen atoms are combined and forms water molecule. So, the ratio is always 2:1. So, this law is known as law of definite proportion. The next one, law of multiple proportion. See, the same kind of atoms may form two or more kind of molecules. For example, water and hydrogen peroxide. The molecular formula of water is H2O, whereas the molecular formula of hydrogen peroxide is H2O2. Both has same kind of atoms, hydrogen as well as oxygen, but the ratio among them is for water 2:1, whereas for hydrogen peroxide 1:1. So, the proportion is changing because the molecules are different. That is known as law of multiple proportion. The next one, Avogadro's law. See, this is very important law. According to Avogadro, he stated this law as a molar volume. See, 1 mole of any gas occupies 22.4 liter at STP. The condition must be STP, standard temperature and pressure. Then only we can say that. So, any gas, 1 mole of any gas occupies 22.4 liter of volume. That is known as Avogadro's law. So, using these kind of laws, we have so many problems. So, we are going to solve the problems using these laws. Next one, mole concept. Say it is a very important part in basic concepts of chemistry, mole concept. If he doesn't know about the mole concept, that is very difficult for us to understand the chemistry. So that is why we must very much aware of mole concept. So first, what is mole? Mole. Mole can be calculated dividing given mass by molar mass of the given compound. Mole is equal to given mass divided by molar mass. See, by finding out the mole of any molecule or any atoms or elements, we can identify the amount of reactant as well as the amount of products formed. So that is why mole concept has so much interest in chemistry. Next one, percentage composition and empirical and molecular formula. See, percentage of composition. When we have a molecule, see, the molecule is mostly arranged, mostly formed by two or more elements. So if you consider the total mass and then the mass of the particular element in that molecule, the percentage is known as percentage of composition. So we can find out percentage of composition for each element in a molecule. So the equation is mass percentage of an element in a molecule, that is equal to mass of that element in that compound. So we have to find out the mass of the particular element in that compound, and we have to divide it by the total mass of the compound into 100, because why are we multiplying into 100? We are converting into percentage. It is like a scoring mark. So there must be a maximum mark and you may score something else. So we will get the percentage as the scored mark divided by the maximum mark. So here the maximum mark is molar mass of the compound and the component's mass is like a scored mass. See, just now we have discussed about percentage of composition. So in percentage of composition, the first question is elemental analysis of an organic compound containing carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen and oxygen is given. The total weight of the organic molecule is given as 7.3 gram, but they are also giving the elemental mass of element weight of each atom. See, for example, carbon, it is given as 3.6 gram, hydrogen 0.7 gram, nitrogen 1.4 gram. So they are asking us to find out the empirical formula of the organic compound. So how to find out the empirical formula of the organic compound? First, we have to find out the unknown mass for oxygen. It is not given here, but we have to find out. How can we find out? So the total mass is given as 7.3 gram. So we have to subtract the mass of carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, the total mass of carbon, nitrogen and hydrogen. When we subtract with the total mass, we will get the remaining mass, that is the mass of oxygen. So now we have to add the mass of each element. Carbon is given as 3.6 gram. 3.6 gram. The mass of hydrogen is given as 0.7 gram. So we have to add it, 0.7. The mass of hydrogen 0.7. The mass of nitrogen is 1.4 gram. When we add them together, we are getting the total mass as 5.7. 5.7. Now we have the total mass of the remaining elements. Now we have to subtract this value from 7.3. So 7.3. When we subtract this, we are getting the mass as 1.6. So this is the mass of oxygen atom. So 1.6 gram. So mass of oxygen atom 1.6 gram. Now how can we find out the empirical formula? So first, if you want to find out the empirical formula, we must find out the mole of each element present here. So how to find out the mole? Now, I'll write first carbon. So mole, the mole is given mass divided by the atomic mass. Here the mass given 3.6 and divided by the atomic mass of carbon. Yes, it is 12. So we have to divide it by 12. So in this way we can easily calculate the mole. So 3.6 divided by 12 gives value 0.3. Now the next element, hydrogen. The given mass is 0.7 and the atomic mass is 1. So that is equal to 0.7. The next one, nitrogen. Nitrogen, the given mass is 14 and the given mass is 1.4, the atomic mass is 14. So when you divide 1.4 divided by 14, we are getting the value as 0.1. The oxygen again. So oxygen, the mass is 1.6 and the atomic mass is 16. That is also 0.1. So we are getting the number of moles of each component here. Now, how to find out the ratio between these elements? We have to divide the number of moles by the smallest value. So among these 4 values, which is the smallest one? Yes, obviously that is 0.1. So now divide it by everything by 0.1. For now 0.3 divided by 0.1. So the answer is, yes, obviously it is 3. The next one, 0.7 by 0.1. So the value is 7. The next one, 0.1 by 0.1. So the value is 1. And for oxygen, that is also 0.1 by 0.1. So value is 1. So now we are getting the simplest ratio: carbon 3, hydrogen 7, nitrogen 1, oxygen 1. So now we have found the answer. The empirical formula of the molecule is C3H7, 1 nitrogen and 1 oxygen. So this is the molecular formula of the organic compound. Now we will move on to the next part. That is concentration of a solution. So we all know that how to make a solution. Yes, when you dissolve a solute in a solvent, we will get a solution. But how can we express the concentration of the solution? There are so many types of concentrations available. The first one is, yes, molarity. What is molarity? Molarity is known as number of moles of solute dissolved in 1 liter of solution. So how to find out the formula? Molarity is equal to number of moles of solute, that is N2. Here the subscript 2 refers solute. N2 divided by volume of solution. See, as I said, volume of solution must be 1 liter. So I am putting here as liter. Next, can we expand the formula? Yes, we can. Now, what is number of mole? Mole is equal to mass by molar mass. Now, the mass of the solute should be taken as M2 and divided by molar mass of the solute must be capital M2. This is molar mass of the solute. Next, and in the denominator volume is there. So, into volume of the solution. But here when we convert volume in liter into volume in ml, we have to multiply the equation by 1000. So, now here the volume of solution must be expressed in ml. So, this is the final equation to find out the molarity of the solution. Next one, molality. What is molality? Molality is number of moles of solute dissolved in 1 kilogram of solvent. So, again we have to represent the molality in formula. How to derive it? So, as I said, number of moles of solute in 1 kilogram of solvent. So, now N2 represents number of moles of solute divided by the mass of the solvent as M1. Why? 2 represents solute, 1 represents solvent. Here we are not talking about the solution, here we are talking about the solvent. That is why I am putting M1. Now, again we can expand it. N2, what is N2? Mass of solute divided by molar mass of the solute. Next, in the denominator we have mass of the solvent. So, M1. Here also we can put the M1 value as in gram. So, if you put it in gram, you have to multiply this equation by 1000. So, using this representation again we can calculate molality. Next one, mole fraction. What is mole fraction? Mole fraction is a different type of expression of concentration. The mole fraction is used for mixtures, not for particularly solution. It is used in mixtures, used for mixtures. So, how can we use it? See, in mixture we can't say which is solvent, which is solute like that. In mixture we always refer number of components or components present in the mixture. So, consider 2 components in a mixture, component 1 and component 2. So, we can write mole fraction for each component. Before that we have studied 2 different concentration expressions, both of them only for solutes, but here the representation mole fraction can be calculated for solute as well as solvent. So, for example, again mole fraction for solute, we will take it as x2. Mole fraction, the representation of mole fraction is x2. Okay. So, 2 refers solute, x2 is equal to, that is a ratio actually. So, number of moles of solute and then the ratio with total moles of solution mixture. So, now N2 number of moles of solute divided by total mole means N1 plus N2, that is total. Number of moles of solvent plus number of moles of solute. Likewise, we can calculate mole fraction for solvent also. Again, the 1 represents mole fraction of solvent. So, I am going to write it as x1, that means mole fraction of solvent. X1 is equal to, again it is coming as N1 by N1 plus N2. This is the representation of mole fraction. Next one, parts per million. What is parts per million? Parts per million, this way is used for the trace metals or trace compounds present in a solution. So, parts per million, how can we calculate parts per million? So, milligram of traces compound available in a 1 liter of solution is known as parts per million. Now, the next one, the problems. calculate molality of 20% by mass sodium hydroxide solution. Here what are the values have been given and what is the question. So we discuss it now. See, they are asking us to find out molality and the given value is 20% by mass. The solution contains sodium hydroxide solute. So how to calculate molality? First, we must understood what is 20% by mass. 20% by mass. Say 20% by mass means 20 gram of sodium hydroxide is dissolved in 100 gram of solution. So again see, watch it clearly, 100 gram of solution, that means 20 gram of solute plus 80 gram of solvent is there. Then only the solution, total mass of the solution comes around 100 gram. So again, so 20% by mass is equal to what we are getting, 20 gram of solute, 20 gram of, the solute is here is sodium hydroxide, so NaOH. And the remaining 80 gram is the solvent. The solvent is water molecule here, water. So 80 gram of water. So now we will move on to molality calculation. So just now we have discussed about the molality. The molality is equal to N2 by M1 into 1000. So that is equal to, now N2, how to calculate number of moles of solute? See, mass by molar mass. The mass is 20 gram divided by the molar mass of sodium hydroxide is 40 gram per mole, 40 into 1000 divided by the mass of the solvent, that is already we have found it, 80 gram. So 80. Now we can cancel it. So 0 can be cancelled out. This one can be cancelled out. Again, see 4, this one it will be 4. So the remaining values are 100 by 4 4s are 16. So 100 by 16. So if you divide 100 by 16, the value is 6.125. The unit is small letter m. Yeah. So the m refers, the small letter m refers molar solution. So we must express it as 6.125 molar solution. So that is the answer. The third question is, when 200 ml of 1 molar HCl solution is mixed with 800 ml of 2 molar HCl solution, they are asking us to calculate the molarity of the resultant solution. So when we mix two different solutions with various different concentration, the resultant solution also having different concentration. So we have to find it out. So how to find out these kind of, how to solve these kind of problems? The first one is we have to find out millimolar. How to find out millimolar? It is very simple. Millimolar is equal to the concentration, molarity with must be multiplied with volume as liter, volume as in liter, So now we are going to find out millimolar for each solution and then we are going to add them. So now millimolar of the first solution, 200 ml how to convert 200 ml into liter? We have to divide it by 1000. So when you divide 200 by 1000, we are getting the value 0.2. That means the solution's volume is 0.2 liter. So 0.2. 2. So volume of the solution. Next, the molarity. What is the molarity? 1 molar HCl. So 1 molar. 1 molar. Now we have to add this value with another solution's concentration. So now addition of another solution. So the solution's volume is 800 ml. So that when you convert 800 ml into liter, it will be around 0.8 liter. So 0.8 into the molarity. The molarity 2 molar solution. So 2 molar. Now 0.2 into 1 is 0.2 plus 0.8 into 2, that is 1.6. When you add 0.2 with 1.6, the value is 1.8. That means when you mix these two different solutions, the number of moles of solute dissolved here is 1.8 mole. So which gives, using this calculation, we can find out number of moles of solute, that is 1.8 moles. So now what is molarity again? They are asking us to find out the molarity of the resultant solution. So now using this 1.8, molarity is equal to N2 by volume in liter, that is equal to the solutions, the solute's mole is 1.8 divided by the volume. What is the volume of the solution now? We mixed two different solutions. The first one has 200 ml, the second one is 800 ml. So when you add the volume, it will be 1000 ml. So 1000 ml is equal to 1 liter. So the volume must be put in liters. So divided by 1. So we are getting 1.8 molar solution. So the answer is 1.8 molar solution. So students, today we discussed some of the problems in basic concepts of chemistry, but we have not discussed about stoichiometry calculations and some of the molarity calculations. In our next video, we will update the remaining problems. Thank you very much.